We all think we know our neighbors. The friendly wave in the morning, the polite nod across the fence, the small talk that makes you feel safe where you live. But what if the person next door isn't who they seem? What if that smile hides something darker? Something that's been watching you longer than you realize? Tonight, we're diving into three terrifying true neighbor horror stories, each one proof that sometimes the real monsters aren't in haunted houses or deep in the woods. They're living right next door. So lock your doors, draw your curtains, and listen closely because one of these stories might sound a little too familiar. Story 1. The Man Next Door. When Kelly moved into her first apartment, she thought she'd finally found peace. It was a quiet, suburban area with tidy lawns and friendly faces. Her next-door neighbor, Mr. Anders, was in his 60s, polite, soft-spoken, and always helpful. He offered to help her carry groceries, shoveled her sidewalk in winter, even fixed a squeaky gate in her backyard. Kelly called him her neighborhood guardian, but that changed the night she woke up to her phone buzzing. A notification. Motion detected. Backyard camera. She frowned, checked the feed, and froze. The camera showed a figure standing near her back door. It was Mr. Anders, just standing there, not moving, not knocking. He was staring through the glass. Kelly's first thought was concern. Maybe he needed help. But when she called out his name from her window, he turned once slowly and walked away without saying a word. The next morning she confronted him. He smiled kindly, saying he was just checking that her lock worked properly. Something about the way he said it sent a chill through her. Over the next few weeks, strange things started happening. Her mail would be opened before she got to it. Her gate would be unlatched every morning. And once she found muddy footprints leading from the back of her house to her bedroom window. She called the police. They found no signs of forced entry. Probably just kids, they said. But Kelly knew better. One evening as she returned home from work, she saw it. Her front door slightly open. Her stomach dropped. She stepped inside, heart racing. Everything looked untouched until she reached her bedroom. The window was wide open, and on her pillow was a small, neatly folded note. You shouldn't sleep with the window unlocked. Her security cameras had been disconnected. The wires were cut. Kelly packed a bag and left that night, staying with a friend. When police finally investigated deeper, they discovered something horrifying. Hidden behind Mr. Anders's house, buried under a tarp, were boxes filled with photos, dozens of them, all taken from inside Kelly's house through the windows. Mr. Anders was arrested a week later after police connected him to similar stalking cases spanning years. Kelly later moved states away, but she still keeps her cameras running 24/7, just in case the next friendly neighbor stops by. Story 2. The couple across the street. Married for 6 years, Evan and Lily had finally found their dream home, a little blue house on a peaceful cul-de-sac. Their neighbors across the street, Todd and Melissa, seemed perfect. They brought over cookies on the first day, invited them to backyard barbecues, and even offered to watch their dog when they traveled. For months, everything was perfect, until the night they returned from a weekend trip and found their house slightly off. A photo on the wall was tilted. The TV remote was in a different spot, and the bed, perfectly made before they left, now had wrinkles on the sheets. Lily felt uneasy, but Evan brushed it off. We probably forgot something. A week later, Lily came home early from work. The house was quiet until she heard the faint creak of the floor upstairs. "Evan?" she called. No answer. She grabbed a kitchen knife and crept up the stairs. From the hallway, she could see the bedroom door slightly open. Through the crack, she saw movement. Someone standing by the closet. Her heart stopped. It was Todd. He froze when he saw her. "Oh, I thought you were at work," he stammered, stepping forward. Lily screamed. Todd ran past her, bolting out the back door. The police arrived within minutes, but Todd was gone. When they searched the house, they discovered what he'd been doing. In the attic above the bedroom, hidden behind insulation, was a small hole, a perfect view into their bedroom below, and beside it, a sleeping bag, water bottles, and a notebook filled with disturbing entries. She hums when she gets dressed. He leaves the lights on when he showers. Tonight I might go downstairs. When officers searched Todd's home, they found cameras disguised as smoke detectors, all pointed across the street, toward Evan and Lily's windows. Melissa, his wife, claimed she had no idea. But weeks later, the police uncovered text messages between them. She'd been helping him, distracting Lily with coffee dates while Todd snuck into their house. Both were arrested. Evan and Lily moved immediately, but for months after, Lily swore she could feel eyes on her whenever she stepped outside. Story 3. The Basement Tenant. In 2015, college student Mark decided to rent out the basement of his small house to help pay bills. The new tenant, a middle-aged man named Greg, seemed polite, quiet, and respectful. He always paid rent on time and mostly kept to himself. At first, everything seemed normal, until Mark started hearing noises late at night. Not footsteps, something heavier, like dragging. He assumed Greg was moving furniture or doing repairs. But when it happened every night, always around 2 a.m., Mark decided to check. He went downstairs and knocked. Greg didn't answer. The dragging stopped immediately. "Everything okay down here?" Mark asked through the door. After a pause, Greg's voice replied, low and calm. "Yeah, just cleaning up." But the smell, metallic, rotten, drifted up the stairs. Mark's gut screamed that something was wrong. A week later, Mark came home from class to find Greg loading a large black duffel bag into his car. He froze when he saw Mark watching. "Old junk," Greg said, smiling too quickly. "Just clearing some space." That night, Mark went downstairs when Greg was out. The basement was spotless, too spotless, except for one small patch of carpet near the wall, damp and discolored. He lifted it slightly and gagged. The wood underneath was dark red. He called the police. When they arrived, Greg was gone, his car abandoned 2 towns over. But what they found in the basement made headlines. Under the floorboards, police discovered several sealed containers filled with chemicals, and evidence linking Greg to multiple missing persons across 3 states. Forensics showed he'd been living under fake names for years, moving from place to place, renting basements and attics, and disposing of victims quietly before leaving town. Mark's address was his last stop. He later learned that the night he called the police, Greg had driven back to the house once, circled it slowly, and then vanished for good. To this day, no one knows where he went. But Mark keeps a padlock on his basement door now, even though it's empty. Because sometimes he still hears dragging noises in the middle of the night, the sound that started it all. You never really know who's living beside you. They could be kind, generous, the perfect neighbors, or they could be the reason you never sleep soundly again. These true neighbor horror stories remind us that sometimes danger doesn't break in through a window. It waves at you from across the lawn. If these stories gave you chills, hit like to let us know. It helps more people find Mr. Nightmare Terrors. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever had a creepy or suspicious neighbor? Your story might appear in our next video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a new upload. Because every week, we open the vault to uncover real stories that prove the scariest monsters don't live in haunted houses. They live right next door.